lab this morning, and the metabolism chapter, we're only going to cover cellular respiration. We're not going to do the part on nutrition, flow regulation, and so on. So that'll only be a partial chapter. This chapter, of course, some of this we've already covered in lab, so I'm going to go through the first part of this fairly quickly because it is, or should be, in review for you. Digestion is going to be a little heavier. We haven't covered that yet. As I mentioned in lab this morning too, on digestion, the hardest part is keeping track of the enzymes and the hormones involved in the digestive process. So that's something you want to do. So you don't put off the last couple of days, you're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm going to keep up. Then that should not be news to you anyway. If you're not keeping up, you're in trouble. Okay? And you need a reminder on Thursday this week, we have our next lecture exam. Tuesday the following week tomorrow, is our next lab test. As I said, from now on you're going to have a test every week. Some weeks you'll have 2 tests. Okay, not sure on that. They won't be on the same day. Okay, on respiration, by now you should know the phase of respiration we talk about in lab. We talk about pulmonary ventilation. We're talking about breathing. Moving in and out of the lungs. Inhalation or inspiration, and exhalation, expiration. In the lungs, what occurs is external respiration, and that is a gas exchange between the air and the blood. The air in a tiny little air sacs called alveoli, and the blood in the capillaries that surround those alveoli called alveolar capillaries or pulmonary capillaries. And of course you get transport of respiratory gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide between the lungs and other body tissues. And then you have internal respiration, gas exchange between the blood and other tissues. In external respiration, remember, the oxygen is moving from the air sacs into the blood, carbon dioxide moving the other direction, from blood into air sacs. In internal respiration, the oxygen is moving from the blood into the other tissues, and carbon dioxide is moving from the tissues back into the blood. Got gas exchange in both cases. And where does the gas exchange occur? In internal respiration. In external, of course, it's between the alveoli and the pulmonary capillaries and the other tissues. It'd be between what? The systemic capillaries and other tissues. But again, it's across a capillary wall. Why the capillary wall? Because they have the thinnest walls, which facilitates gas exchange. Remember, it's in the capillaries that you get exchange between the blood and other tissues. Not just nutrients and waste products, but also respiratory gases. Carbon dioxide and oxygen. Oxygen going into the tissues, carbon dioxide coming out. Remember, we're AMP1 in metabolism. First, cells, when they metabolize them, they take in oxygen, and they give off carbon dioxide as a waste product. Not to be over that later. We forgot. And the whole purpose of this is what? Why do we need to bring oxygen to the tissues? Now you're going into nursing, what they're going to find is you're going to be the liaison between the patient and the patient's families. Okay, let me ask you, why? Why are you doing this? Okay, why this procedure? And you can't say, well, just ask the doctor. The doctor comes in, treats in and out. Okay, trust the child, continuing medication. You're going to be liaison. So someday somebody's going to ask you, probably some smart kid. Why do we need air? Why do we need oxygen? Okay, what are you going to tell them? Ask your mother. What are you going to tell them? Why do we need oxygen? Because? Why? What's the whole purpose of oxygen? Why do we have to get oxygen to our tissues, to our cells? What's the purpose? Is there an advantage? Yeah. How does it keep us alive? Energy. Cells can't make energy. They tap energy sources. What do? They break down fuel molecules in the cells. If they do so using oxygen, they can generate a lot more ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is a major energy storage molecule. Okay? With oxygen metabolism, you can trap a lot more energy in ATP. In other words, you generate more ATP. So you got more energy available to the cells. Without it, some cells can carry an anaerobic respiration, like lactic acid fermentation, but you don't generate much ATP. So the purpose of oxygen is you can trap a lot more energy in ATP. So you're going to sell it because you can make more ATP. What's ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Major energy storage molecule. Without it, you don't make enough to keep your cells alive. You don't have enough energy available. So with oxygen, more energy is available. You're not making energy, you're making ATP to trap energy. When you break down these fuel molecules like glucose and such, most energy is released as heat, which is a waste energy. Cells can't use it to do their work. Okay, helps us maintain body temperature, chromothers, blood animals, but we need energy from the ATP. So with oxygen, you can simply generate more ATP, have more energy available from the cells, and keep the cells alive. So that's the whole point of this. Oxygen in, taking away the waste products, including carbon dioxide. And that's what your respiratory systems do. We'll look at some of the respiration in more detail. Okay, normal pathway of air through the respiratory system. As I said in lab this morning, and no surprise, I'm going to expect you to trace, or you've already done it, trace through the respiratory system. As I said in lab, you're going to do the same thing with the digestive system as well. So by now, you will trace the normal pathway of air through the respiratory system. Remember, it consists of two zones, the conducting zone and the respiratory zone. The conducting zone conducts air to and from the respiratory zone. And of course, you should know the components. Now, the breathing air going in here, air usually comes in through the external areas, which are nostrils, in the nasal cavity, from there goes to the pharynx, and you should know the parts of the pharynx. What's the first part, just posterior to the nasal cavity? Nasopharynx. From there it goes into the oropharynx, and then the laryngopharynx. Okay? From there it goes into the larynx. From larynx it goes into trachea. From trachea into the bronchi. First the primary bronchi, which carry to and from the trachea, between the trachea and the lungs. And then the secondary lobar bronchi, which go into the lobes of the lungs. And then from there into the tertiary bronchi, which go into the segments of the lungs. So secondary bronchi also known as lobar bronchi, tertiary bronchi also segment bronchi. And then from there, then the bronchioles are the terminal bronchioles. And that's the end, the terminus of the conduction zone. And that connects in to the respiratory zone. For the process of conducting air to and from respiratory zone, remember, conducting zone also, it's filtering the air, it's humidifying, moistening the air, and it's warming the air. And the respiratory zone then is where gas exchange occurs, starting with the respiratory bronchioles, going to the alveolar ducts, and ending in this cluster of alveoli called the alveolar sacs. Of course, it's the alveoli that the gas exchange occurs. And this starts with the respiratory bronchioles, because you have alveoli branching off the walls of respiratory bronchioles. Continue alveolar ducts. Any questions on this? Like I said, this should be a review. How many secondary bronchi do we have in the right lung? Give us those secondary bronchi, lobar bronchi. Right lung. Three. And the left lung? Two. Why the difference in size?
The heart
So
takes up
position of
room.
the heart. The heart's more to the left side of the body, the left to the midline. Okay. So we start and trace through. Nasal cavity, of course, it's the cavity inside the nose. We have some coarse hairs just inside. These are called vibrissae. And their purpose, of course, is to screen out larger debris. Okay? Large dust particles, things that are drifting in the air, flying insects, stuff like that. And then the nasal septum, remember that's a vertical partition. Septum is a wall. You saw that in the heart, for example, dividing the heart on the right and left sides. You see it here dividing the nasal cavity on the right and left sides. It's made up of process from two bones and also a cartilage. What are the two bones that make up the nasal septum? Ethmoid and vomer. perpendicular plate of the ethmoid and also the bone. Okay, and then you got a septal coating as well. But remember, the nasal cavity is also further subdivided by partitions or projections of bone into the interior. These are paired. You have a superior, a middle, and an inferior pair of nasal conchae. Of course, these are part of the soft tissue. What this does, of course, is increase the surface area in the nasal cavity and create a turbulent airflow. So the air is bouncing off the sides of the wall, which is good because you want to filter out a lot of debris. So by bouncing off the walls, a lot of debris in the air, which is full of dust and various other things, gets trapped on that sticky surface lining the nasal cavity. What kind of epithelium we're dealing with in the nasal cavity? Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, ciliated to basically move that debris-laden mucus to the throat. And where does the mucus come from? Goblet cells. Unicellular glands, single-cell glands embedded in the epithelium that secrete that mucus. So you got a wet, sticky surface. You got the ciliated beaten accordion fashion that's to sweep that debris-laden mucus down to the throat. And of course, the passageways created by the conchae from the superior, middle, and inferior nasal meatus. And then remember too, the nasal cavity is separated from the fan cavity by the ethmoid and sphenoid bones, and also anteriorly from the mouth cavity by the hard palate, and inferior or posteriorly by the soft palate, which continues. Hard palate, of course, has a bony shelf, and that's made up of the maxillary and palatine bones, and continues with that the soft tissue, connective tissue, and smooth muscle, which basically is the soft palate. That's it. Yes? Internal areas, that's just a fancy name for the opening between the nasal cavity and the nasopharynx, also called posterior nasal aperture. Here from your textbook, it shows the nasal cavity, and again, these projections, which are the superior, middle, and inferior nasal conchae, and the passageways they create, which would be the superior, middle, and inferior nasal meatuses. So air comes in through the external areas, passes through the nasal cavity, and basically passes down into the pharynx. The nasopharynx, the larynx, to the larynx. Okay, the nasal cavity then, as we said, part of the conduction zone is warming the air. You've got blood vessels close to the surface, the mucous membranes that line it. It also moistens the air because, of course, that mucus is full of water, so it's wet and sticky. And it filters air because that wet, sticky mucus is trapping debris in the air. And the mucilage can sweep it down to the throat, where it can be swallowed or spit out. In addition, nasal cavity also enables you to smell the air, because you have receptors, okay? You have receptors basically in the nasal cavity. These are your olfactory receptors. And they also aid in taste discrimination. As you know, we do have taste receptors in lower projection of the tongue. Those are called the taste buds. They only give us the 4 basic taste sensations, which are what? Sweet, salt, sour, and bitter. There's a difference between sour and bitter. Okay? Sour would be like lemon juice or vinegar, okay, like most acids. And bitter would be something like chewing up aspirin or something like that. A lot of drugs are bitter. But the subtleties of taste discrimination, which we are capable, has more to do with your sense of smell than your taste receptors. That's why when you're congested, have a lot of mucus in the nasal cavities, it covers those olfactory receptors. You can't smell the food very well. As a result, it tastes rather bland. You can tell if it's sweet or sour or whatever, but you can't really get the real flavor of it. And also, too, food often tastes a little bit better if it's warmed up. If you're kicking more molecules up in the air, you can smell it better, and hence you can taste it better. It tends to be more flavorful. Another function is to act as a resonance chamber, the nasal cavity. This, along with the natural cavities of the bone called the paranasal sinuses, and also the oral cavity or mouth cavity, and the pharynx. Now, this is what gives the tone and quality to your voice, which is unique. If you know a person well, you can just recognize them by the sound of their voice. Okay? However, when you got an infection like upper respiratory, and the passage get clogged with mucus, then the voice tone and quality can change a little bit. It's like they're talking through the mouth. Paranasal sinus, again, are natural cavities in the bone, the purpose of which is to lighten the weight of the skull. And the paranasal cavities, or sinuses rather, are lined with the same type of epithelium that we see in the nasal cavity. So they're stratified so they come up here. And again, they serve have warm and moist air as well. But unfortunately, because of our upright posture, they don't drain that well. And some people, the nasal cavities get clogged with mucus. The result is you get pressure, and that can actually cause pain in some cases. You get these headaches sometimes, sinus headaches or pressure points. They simply because they simply don't drain. If you walked on all fours, actually they drain better. Okay. The pharynx then, of course, is the throat. And of course air, throat is the passageway, common passageway for both the respiratory and the digestive system. The nasal pharynx, which is the more superior part, usually only handles air. For that reason, it usually is sort of stratified so it can clean. The rest of the pharynx, the oral pharynx and pharynx, not only handling air, but also handling food. So you need a good thick protective layer, and that's where this non-keratinized stratified squamous comes in. Remember too, though, in the nasopharynx, you have openings with some passageways that connect the throat, the pharynx, to the middle ear. These go by various names. Auditory tubes, can also be called the pharyngotympanic tubes or eustachian tubes. And the purpose is to do what?
Drain. Keep.
To equalize the air pressure on either side of your tympanic membrane, which is your eardrum. You're frequently exposed to change in air pressure. Okay? So this allows you basically to equalize the pressure, and there's less likelihood of eruption in the eardrum. You can see it like when you're descending an airliner and you're going from a lower pressure at high altitude to a higher pressure at lower altitude. Where you especially see this if you're going underwater. Because of course water is much more dense than air. So no matter a few feet, you can feel pressure in your ears. You have to clear. And if you're doing a scuba diving, you definitely have to clear or you don't die because it's like a couple spikes when you're on the side of your head. Yes?
Now, with vertigo, have be vertigo in your ear thing.
Well, the vertigo is associated with that too. Sometimes sickness, seasickness or motion sickness. Okay, you've also got a tonsil here. This is called the adenoid. Remember, that's a mass of, it's the malt. You put this over lymphatic tissue. This is lymphatic follicles, the purpose of which is to intercept microorganisms to keep them from spreading. That's why often tonsils become inflamed or swollen, particularly in children. There's a lot of stuff in the air, and of course in the respiratory passageways. The oropharynx, this is the middle portion, and you can see it extends from the plane of the soft palate to the region of the epiglottis. And the epiglottis, of course, is that flap of tissue supported by cartilage that covers the opening from the pharynx into the larynx. That's called epiglottis. And again, a fancy name for the opening from the oral cavity into the throat, the pharynx, called the process. upper lining, the non-carotid stratified squamous, because it's carrying not only air, but also food. Digestion. As you know, we also have a set of tonsils, a pair of tonsils, in the oropharynx. Excuse me. And those are called the palatine tonsils. You open your mouth, look in the mirror, you still have your tonsils. You can see them on either side. There's loads of tissue. That's all part of the mouth. And then the lingual tonsil, this is a mass of lymphatic tissue at the base of the tongue, which you really can't see. The inferior part then of the pharynx is the lingual pharynx. In this case, it extends from the epiglottis to where the larynx and the esophagus split. And it too is lined with non-carotid stratified squamous, because it too is handling food and drink as well as air. This should be reviewed. Okay, the larynx itself is sometimes called the voice box because, of course, it has elastic fibers that vibrate when the air passes over it, which allows it to make sounds. Larynx itself is composed, or supported, I should say, by a piece of cartilage. 9 cartilages. 3 are larger cartilages, and they're single, and then we have 3 pairs of smaller cartilages. A total of 6. 6 plus the 3 give us 9. The largest cartilage is kind of shield shaped. This is called the thyroid cartilage. You can see it especially in the anterior portion. And it tends to be larger in males. The cartilages tend to be larger in males than females. And there is a projection, anterior projection, from the thyroid cartilage called the laryngeal prominence. And this is commonly referred to as the Adam's apple. We all have one. It's just more prominent in males than it is in females because of larger cartilages. This has to do with the predominance of the male sex hormones. The cartilages grow. Again, so our sex hormones are basically turn us into males or females. Children look very similar. Okay, you just look at their faces. But once they go through puberty, then they begin to look like women or men. And it has to do with their sex hormones. We all produce both sex hormones, and of course males produce a lot more male sex hormones, predominantly testosterone, and females produce more female sex hormones, estrogens, and progesterone, which we'll talk about later. Okay, the second cartilage is the cricoid cartilage. It's also a single cartilage. This marks the inferior boundary of the larynx. So this is the inferior-most portion of the larynx. And it's also a landmark for doing a tracheotomy. If you have to make an incision, basically, you don't want to go in the larynx because you damage the vocal cord. You want to go below that into the trachea. So below that, if you make an incision, okay, inferior to the cricoid. So again, it's the inferior-most cartilage for the larynx. The epiglottis, again, is the third single cartilage, and again, it supports the fiber tissue called the epiglottis. So the epiglottal cartilage is unique in regard that it basically is the only cartilage that is elastic cartilage. All the rest of the cartilages that support the larynx and the various respiratory passages, the trachea, bronchia, and so on, are all hyaline cartilage. The epiglottis itself is kind of spoon-shaped, elastic cartilage, and when we swallow, muscles pull the larynx up, brings the glottis, the opening, in contact with the epiglottis, closing it off, and then food then slides down into the esophagus, so it doesn't go down the wrong tube. If it does, then this initiates a cough reflex. However, if the person's unconscious, they may not have that cough reflex, so you never want to give liquids to an unconscious person because it could go right down and block the respiratory tract, actually drown the person. So you want to make sure that person is conscious. Otherwise, you never want to give them fluids. You never have that cough reflex active. if something goes down the wrong tube, you want to make hurry because you have this coughing reflex to expel whatever went down. Because again, it blocks the airway, it's suffocating. Okay, the small paired cartilages, again, we got 3 small pairs, the largest of which are called the arytenoid cartilages. And they're kind of like a right triangle. And they're attached to, and just superior to, the cricoid, posterior. And we got the carniculate cartilages. The carniculate cartilages, remember, are superior and attached to the arytenoid cartilages. They're also small and paired and rather triangular in shape. And then the cuneiform cartilages are also small paired cartilages, usually a little superior and anterior to the cuniculate cartilages. So in your book again, this just shows again the anterior aspect of the larynx, thyroid cartilage, the windshield prominence or Adam's apple. And then down here is the cricoid cartilage, of course, there are ligaments in between them. Up here, of course, is the hyoid bone. What's unique about the hyoid bone?
It's not connected to.
It's one bone in the human body that's not connected or articulated with any other bones. And it's held in place by ligaments, basically, in the and it's attachment for muscles, too, which is why it's there. Attachments have muscles. Again, you can see the thyroid cartilage. Okay, it's up here. And here's the thyroid and lining as well. And then you can see the cricoid. The cricoid actually expands more posteriorly. And then the arytenoid, you can see it here, it's covered like muscles. The cuniculate and the cuneiform cartilages here, which is covered with the and then inside the larynx, of course, this again, you can see the opening here, glottis, and then the epiglottis, which covers it, circled with cartilage. Then you've got these membranes basically all across here. The superior pair, or the vestibular folds, or also vocal cords, because they're not involved in sound production. Inferior folds are called the vocal folds, or true vocal cords, because they vibrate. Elastic fibers basically vibrate when air passes over them, and allows to make sounds. Again, you've got the true vocal cords, and notice they are attached at one end, the arytenoid cartilages, the other end to the thyroid. There are muscles basically that move the arytenoid cartilages. And by doing so, they can increase the tension on those ligaments, basically, or these bands, and basically increase the tension on them. What this does, of course, is adjust the pitch of the voice. So the greater the tension on the true vocal cords, the higher the pitch of the sound. The less tension, the lower the pitch. So this is how we change the pitch. The intensity of the voice, or loudness of the voice, has to do with the force of air, simply passing on these true vocal cords. The greater the